next person we have is Kathleen from Medicaid Fraud Awareness. That's what she's going to do. So she's from Senior Medicare Patrol. Senior Medicare Patrol. As soon as she stops talking, she's going to come up here and teach us a few things about Medicare. And this is really, really important part of Medicare is fraud, but I've learned that if we don't pay attention, it could affect our loved ones or our benefits, okay? So she has the great information. My friend Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen.
Hello, and thanks for letting me come today. I really appreciate being a part of this program. It's awesome, and it's always got such great attendance. And so it's a great opportunity for me to get this program awareness out and for you to know who to call when you need us. Who in this room has heard of the Senior Medicare Patrol? Not many hands. That's great. That's bad, but it's great. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Well, we are the Senior Medicare Patrol. I've been with this program for 19 years. We're going to go over a little bit about the program, and we're going to talk about fraud and scams, and then we're going to give you some tools to let you know how you can help us. But right now it's 2025. We're in the middle of 2025, and our tagline is to help Medicare survive, fight fraud in 2025. And we're going to talk about how we're going to do that. So it's kind of a heavy subject. It's not much fun to hear. So I like to start with something a little bit light and funny. So here we go. Just a second. I don't know if it'll play. Were y'all expecting that? I wasn't either, and it took me by such surprise, and I laughed so hard. I said, I got to show that in my show. I got to show that. So I think she did it on purpose. Do you? Okay, so what is S&P? We are a federal grant program. You've heard a lot about the federal grant programs and federal issues going on right now. We are a part of that. We could be affected. Right now we just were approved our third year of our 5-year grant, so we have one more year at least that we know of, and so we're holding our breath. We are funded by ACL, which is also one of the groups that is affected, and they're being dissolved, and so all of their programs are going to be redistributed, so we are one of those programs. We are administered through the Arkansas Insurance Department. So I am a state employee. I work with Dee Edwards. She's out at our booth. We have partners throughout the state that help us get our message out, but we are a state program and we manage a federal grant. Senior Medicare Patrol sounds like we go out investigating and patrolling and we've got our baton and everything. We do not patrol, we do not even arrest or anything like that, but we educate. We educate statewide this message of fraud prevention and what you can do about it. We are accountable, however, to the United States Office of Inspector General. We report all of our measurable outcomes, which means today I went to speak at the Alzheimer's Arkansas Caregiver Workshop, and there were 200 people here, and that's kind of a measurable outcome. We do have a survey as well that we are going to, there might be a few on your tables right now. We don't have enough, but we have surveys that we've also been required to ask you to fill out. There's a front and back side. You should have a pen. If not, we have pens out on our vendor booth. But thank you in advance for doing that. You'll fill it out after we're finished. So our mission, real quickly, is to empower seniors. Just that sentence alone, empower seniors. That means educate. When you are educated, you are empowered to make change and to make a difference. We empower seniors, families, their caregivers, and professionals in the aging industry to prevent healthcare fraud through outreach, counseling, and education. We have a 1-800 phone number that you can call. Our number is on everything out at our booth today. Everything out there has our phone number. You should have no trouble contacting us. And we have we go out statewide educating, and we rely on our partners as well. We are also a volunteer recruitment program. If you're interested in volunteering and helping us get the word out statewide, you would volunteer in your own area, and we would like to discuss that with you as well if you'd like to talk with us out at the booth. The goal of the program is twofold: not only to combat fraud by protecting seniors from fraud and scams by education and outreach, but also to preserve the Medicare Trust Fund. Whose money is that in the Medicare Trust Fund? Ours. It's our money, and it's being lost annually. It's being lost. $60 to $90 billion is lost to fraud, waste, and abuse. 60 to 90, did you hear me? B with a B, it's outrageous. It's an outrageous amount. So it helps to report it and get it reimbursed back to the Medicare Trust Fund. So without describing the definition of fraud, you kind of might I could probably get a lot of examples of fraud from you, but there's a definition. It's to knowingly and willfully. That means intentionally, and it's kind of hard to prove intentionality. So a lot of times these providers get slaps on the wrist and get Medicare billing education, so that they learn how to bill Medicare correctly. So it's to knowingly and willfully deceive or misrepresent to get money from a beneficiary or any healthcare benefit program, which means Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare Advantage plans, all of that. There is a disclaimer, I'm not going to read it all, but what you need to be aware of is that our focus is solely on criminal individuals with the definition we just described, and organizations who engage in fraudulent schemes and scams. Any references to fraud or scams are directed exclusively at those who unlawfully exploit others for personal gain. So everyone I'm talking about, any examples I give today, are criminals and criminal organizations that commit these crimes. So in that light, who is it that perpetrates fraud? Doctors, hospitals, clinics, pharmacies, and pharmacists. Employees that work at these places, they have access to your healthcare records. Durable medical equipment supply companies, DME is what we call them. Walkers, wheelchairs, diabetic supplies, urinary catheters, oxygen equipment. Home health and nursing homes. Again, there's lots of home health agencies out here and lots of caregivers out here. We're not talking about those, we're talking about criminals that get up every day to defraud the system. It does happen nationwide and here in Arkansas. Hospice is another area where fraud is rampant. They sign people up on hospice when it's not medically necessary, and they will skew their records to reflect that they are qualified for hospice. And then dishonest insurance reps. That's a whole nother presentation, so we'll skip that. Okay, how do they perpetrate fraud? The number one way is to bill for services or products that were never provided. Number one. They double bill. You might see when reading the Medicare summary notice that there's 2 identical claims. That's not normal. Billing for medically unnecessary services or products. Billing for covered services, so they get that extra money. They offer kickbacks, whether it's medications, no copay, beach house, whatever they can give you as a kickback. Patient recruiting and enrollment by fraudulent insurance reps. All those examples are made up in this one case right here, so I like to refer to it. This nurse practitioner was sentenced to 20 years. She committed genetic testing fraud, durable medical equipment fraud, and COVID fraud. She submitted over $192 million in fraudulent claims. She was the highest ordering nurse practitioner in the United States for cancer genetic testing. Here's the kicker. She routinely billed for more than 24 hours in a day. She hired non-licensed individuals and marketing companies to sign orders, and she falsified medical conditions and diagnoses to reflect her billing. Okay, we have a simple message. What can you do about all this? $60 to $90 billion wasted 3 simple steps: protect, detect, and report. The first step and the most important, actually they all 3 go together. If you don't have all 3 of these in action, they don't work. Number 1 is to prevent healthcare fraud by protecting your personal information. Personal information encompasses a lot of things these days. It used to just be your Social Security number. It's your Medicare number. It's your name, your address, your date of birth, your doctor's name. All of those things are very important to a fraudster. They can't bill without certain information. Protect your personal information. Second is to detect fraud, errors, and abuse by reviewing the Medicare summary notice. Who in this room reviews a Medicare summary notice when it comes in the mail? You might get it online as well. Quite a few of you do, and that's good to see. A lot of people don't. This is the only way to detect fraud or errors. The only way you can detect fraud or errors. Likewise, the only way you can reimburse that money back into the trust fund. So a lot of people don't read it. There's people who are too sick, people that don't have caregivers like you guys. People who have Alzheimer's, they can't review it. They don't have caregivers. People who just don't want to review it. People that say, I don't need to review that. My doctor's not going to commit crime. There is a lot of room for error in Medicare. Human hands enter those things into the system where Medicare is billed. If you are off one number or one letter, it completely changes who is being billed, who the Medicare recipient is, and what is being billed. So there's a lot of room for error. So when you read a statement and you see an error, you need to call and have it corrected. That affects your medical record. You may be billed for something that you did not receive. Remember, the number 1 thing was billing for services or products that you were never provided. If you get something on your record that you can only get once a year, once every 6 months, once every 5 years, when it comes time for you to need that, they're going to deny that claim for you because it's already in your records that you received one. Really important. If you would rather review your statements online, you can sign up for an account called Medicare.gov. That is the generic name for the website. But when you go to Medicare.gov, you can create or log in. There it is. That's what it looks like when you go to Medicare.gov. It'll say create or log in to your account. You can access Medicare claims within 24 hours of a claim being filed. You don't have to wait 3 months for your Medicare statement to come in the mail. It's a great service Medicare offers. Read it while it's fresh in your mind, after you've been to the hospital, after you've been to the doctor's office, and you can access all of that. And also you can input your medications, your loved one's medications, and when it comes time for, maybe changing plans, all that information is already in the system. So it helps whoever's helping you to decide which plan is good for you. This is a great thing to do, and that's your homework for the weekend. And you're gonna do Medicare.gov, go on, create an account, and see what all you can do with that. The last and final step is to report. If you're reviewing that, like I said, if you're reviewing your statement and you see a discrepancy and you don't report it, that money is being wasted. That is part of the deficit. That's part of the 60 to 90 billions. You would not believe how many claims that are on statements that you did not have happen. You didn't have that surgery. You didn't have that amputation. You didn't have that wheelchair. All kinds of things. And we're going to talk about the types of scams and things that happen by reading your statement. When you read it, if you would like, you can call your provider directly. You can call, ask for the billing department, tell them you're reading your statement and there is something wrong on it and you want it corrected. They're more than happy to help you do that. How do you know that they corrected it? Maybe they're going to say, oh, thank you for letting us know. I'll get that corrected. They have to resubmit a claim to Medicare, which means you are going to get another summary notice. And that summary notice is going to have zeros across the board. That's how you know. So when your next summary notice comes and they did not do that, then you can call them back or you can call us. You can call us to begin with. If you don't want to call your provider, we're happy to do that for you. We are not accusing them of fraud. We're telling them there's an error on your statement, okay? If anyone's ever called 1-800-MEDICARE, it's kind of daunting, but I do suggest if you do want to call them after hours and on weekends or late at night. Otherwise, you may be on hold for a while. Again, we're happy to do that for you. We have a direct line into them, so please call us if you want assistance from us. Has anyone in this room received a scam call? Really? How about a pop-up on your Facebook or email? Yeah, lots of room for scams. So we're going to talk about some scams that are happening in Arkansas as well as nationwide, and they are rampant and they are ever evolving. So what's happening here in Arkansas may not have happened yet in northern United States, and then a couple of months later we get on the phone with our partner agencies nationwide. I didn't mention that the S&P program, which hardly anyone in this room has heard of, is a national program. There's one in every state. So if you want help locating another state's agency, then we'll give you that number. But we get on the phone once a month and talk to them, and we will talk about the scams happening here, and people in the northern part of the United States have not gotten that yet. So we're able to do that, get the note out that there is a new scam coming around, and pretty much within months it will be here. So we're not only alerting them to the scam, but they alert us to the scams as well. How do they contact victims? In person. It used to just be a phone call, right? It used to be just scam calls. Now they go to your door in senior housing communities, in senior centers, at health fairs. And they walk up to you and they can scam you right then. Text messages, emails, internet, and social media. They are getting you every which way, every which way. Let's talk about the top scams here in Arkansas, what we get on our helpline and after presentations like this. People will come up and say, I got this scam call, and they'll tell us, and it might be something we've never heard before. So we want to hear from you, okay? The number one scam going around right now that's been happening for several years, actually it's been happening since the beginning of time, but it evolves. The new Medicare card scam. They call and ask if you've received your new Medicare card. I see some heads. Has anyone received that call in this room? 1, 2, 3, 4. On this side of the room gets scam calls. This side doesn't. Yeah, this is a really bad scam, and most of the time people fall for it because they're so tricky, very, very tricky. And I think we have this alert. We have our alerts out at the table. We have our newsletter out at the table, and they also have scams in them. But they've gotten really, really tricky at this one because you'll say, oh, I didn't know I was getting a new Medicare card. And they say, oh, well, yeah, you should have gotten it a couple of weeks ago. Let's see. Let me verify your information. Are you so-and-so? They know your name. You go, yes, I am. Do you still live at so-and-so address? Yes, that's my address. Okay, well, maybe, let's see, you should have gotten that. Maybe it's your zip code. And then they give the zip code, and they go, oh, that's what it is. It's your zip code. We had the wrong zip code. Well, we're going to be mailing your Medicare card to you now, and you'll get it in a couple of weeks. Let me just verify your Medicare number. They will give them the last 4 digits of the Medicare number, and they think that they have the rest, that they're just verifying it. Now that we've got your address situated and straightened up, we can get this card mailed to you. We just need to verify your number. So they've fallen for it because the trust has been built. They knew certain information already, but they did not have the rest of their Medicare number. And now they've given their medical identity. That's how it's going on. And another glitch to it is they say, well, since we've got you on the phone, are you still having knee problems are you still seeing Dr. So-and-so? Oh yeah, I've got this arthritis in my knee. It's been bothering me forever. Well, let me transfer you to a supervisor in our DME office, and we are offering free braces right now. So they just continue on from one scam to another in one phone call. That's what we're seeing now. So durable medical equipment scams have also been ageless. They have been around forever. They always will be. They either bill for products you never received, And so if you don't read your statement, they have already been paid for that. You never got one, so you didn't have any idea that your Medicare number was billed for durable medical equipment supplies. The other way it happens is you get a box at your doorstep in the mail, and it's full of braces, and then you go, what are these? I didn't order braces. Has anyone gotten boxes of braces delivered? No. This is huge. It's happened so many times here in Arkansas, and they get a box of braces and they didn't order them, and so they start calling. Well, they call the number on the box, or there is no number on the box, and then they start looking for fraud. Is there something going on in the news about fraud with, why am I getting this box? So they call Medicare, and then they call us, and that's when they find out. And then we have them check the Medicare statement, and sure enough, there's a charge for a bunch of braces. It's been happening for years. So that's how the durable medical equipment scams and fraud happen. The big thing, and what the federal government really appreciates our program about, is the urinary catheters. It was intermittent urinary catheter supplies, which were showing up on people's Medicare statements. People would read their statement and they would see 200 urinary catheter supplies. If you don't ever you've never had a urinary catheter or used for one or had surgery, then that's going to pop up off that page, isn't it? You're reading their statement, they see urinary catheters, and not only that, but they see one every month, a charge for one every month. And they knew that because they read their statement. The S&P program was one of the first ones to alert the OIG about this scam and this fraud happening in Medicare. And making a return is the genetic testing scam. This is rampant. Now they're adding way more things to it. Now they have one that can detect Alzheimer's. So it's things that you want to know. It's things that you would love to have genetic testing, and it'll tell you what you're predestined for, or whether you carry that gene. These are fake, they're false, they're not, they're scams. There are certain genetic tests that Medicare will pay for. However, it has to be really specific to you. Your doctor has talked to you many times, you are fully aware of it, and then Medicare will pay for that after your doctor has done it. There will never be a phone call. There will never be something in the mail. There will never be something that you see at a health fair about genetic testing. Don't do it unless your doctor has ordered it, okay? This is a huge scam. People were getting boxes delivered in the mail that had a cheek swab thing, just like the COVID test. Just mail it back to us and we will send you your results in a week or two. Well, they would do that, and they would send that box back without keeping any information from the box. They have no idea who they sent it to. That was their DNA in that box, and they never heard back from anyone, and that's when they started making phone calls. Well, I never got the results from those tests. I wonder what happened with that. Otherwise, you see charges on your statement for all types of genetic testing, blood work, all this stuff, and that's the fraud. Services that were never provided. Any questions about? Anybody have a question? Yes.
If the DMV thing is a scam, how is it that the person still sometimes gets the product, even if they didn't order it or anything? Because I would have just thought that when
Exactly.
somebody orders that it's just they're stealing the money, but why would they actually send something?
Exactly, that's a great question. So if it's a scam, why would they deliver product? There's no need for that. Well, they have to show a delivery ticket. I still don't get it myself. They have to show a delivery ticket that they did actually deliver something, so that they, support their billing, but a lot of times they don't, so good question. All right, scams work because they're professionals. Remember, we talked to you about criminal organizations. They get up every day trying to figure out ways, and they're smart. They build your trust. They know what you're going to say. They know how to respond to what you say. This is caller ID. You're qualified. You've been approved. Your doctor approved this for you. They know your doctor's name. Here are 4 warning signs of scams. If you don't take anything else home with you today, these are 4 fail-proof warning signs. First, it's unsolicited, right? It's a phone call. You did not ask them to call you. It's a pop-up on internet. It's a pop-up on Facebook. It's an email you did not order. You did not ask for. It's a text message. It's a phone call. So these are all unsolicited. 2, they want some confirmation. They need some information from you. They use the words, I need to confirm. Will you confirm the rest of your number? I need to verify. They use those types of words. They need something from you or they're not going to be calling. 3rd, they want to get around to some type of payment. If they get your Medicare number, that's money in their pocket. They're going to bill Medicare fraudulently for services and products you never received. They can get your bank account information. They can get your social security number. They can steal your identity. They can get you to go to Target and give them a gift card and give them the number off the back of it. They can get you to give them cash, meet them somewhere and give them cash. Go to your bank and pull out some cash. Because the 4th tactic is scaring you. They scare you into doing what they ask and what they need. So you are going to go to your bank because you're scared and you're going to give them that money and you're going to go and get a gift card and give them the number off the back because you're scared. And I wish I had time, but I don't. Tell the story about a lady. You can Google it. Google the financial advice columnist who fell victim to this type of fraud. All 4 of those tactics were used, and she finally fell victim because they threatened her child. She gave them $50,000. She is a financial advice columnist. She's young. I don't know how. She looks like she's 12 to me, because when you get older, people start looking young. She's young and she's cute, and you know she's smart, and she went on national television and confessed this, embarrassed herself to save you from falling victim. It can happen to anybody. Advice. Government agencies are not going to call you. My top advice is to do not answer the phone. Don't answer it. You don't have to answer that phone. If you don't have them in your contacts as that name, then don't answer it for sure. Secondly, do not call that number back. Curiosity killed the cat. You do so good and you don't answer it, and you go, I'm just going to call it back, see if it might have been somebody I wanted to talk to. And you call that number back. It's either non-working or it's like, some car agency or something, because they've spoofed the number. So please don't call it back. When you call that number back, it puts you on another list. A good list that says this is a working number and they answered the phone. You're going to continue to get phone calls. Have you gotten those phone calls 15 in a row and the last number changed? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. They spoof the numbers. They don't stop. And please don't say, stop calling me. They don't care about you. Just hang up the phone. They do not care. They're not going to stop calling you. Don't whine and cry. If you want, you can blow a whistle in the phone. You can do something like that. Think of something creative, but don't talk to him and don't plead with them to not call you anymore. We used to give away whistles. I don't think we have any today. And we said, blow the whistle on fraud. Blow that whistle into that phone. Just hang up. Never give personal information. Number 1 step, guard your personal information. Don't click on links. We have all types of information out at our table. Please come get some. We also have brand new, we just finished our Medicare Fraud Prevention Week, which is an annual thing. This is our 3rd annual one. And in lieu of that, they came out with a new app for your phone. Who puts apps on their phones? Let's see hands. I don't see any. Okay, thank you. See, I thought, really? Y'all don't do apps? And then almost the whole room raised their hand. So we have a new app, and it's got our tracker on it. This is a journal outside. You can also go look at those, see if it's something you'd like. It also gives you the latest scams. You can put your medications in there. It's got a game on there. See how smart you are as a fraud fighter. And just go on, and it's a QR code at our table. We have a flyer with the QR code that you can download this app on your phone, see if you like it. Any questions? We present statewide. We'd love to present somewhere you think they might benefit from hearing our message. We do all types of presentations. We have a how to read your Medicare summary notice. We do fraud bingo. And instead of B-I-N-G-O across the top of the page, it's F-R-A-U-D. Get our message out by playing fraud.
We have a question.
Yes, sir.
I actually have 2. The first one is, how are you seeing the impact of artificial intelligence on these fraud claims and all that wonderfulness going on? And I can't remember what the second one was.
You'll remember it after I start talking. AI, what's that going to do about fraud in Medicare and healthcare fraud? AI is very scary. It's great. It's been around forever, right? We all use Siri. Yeah, there's huge worrisome about that because they can change. You know, you're aware they can change your voice to sound like this is where the grandparent scam might really come in, where they act like they're your child. They can have your voice recorded. That's the scariest part because they can say that you agreed to certain things and yes, you did order these supplies and who knows how bad it can get. It's so great, just like computers. When they're working, they're great. When they're not, you know, it's bad. But yeah, it's scary. We haven't seen a lot of it yet, but we know it's just around the corner.
And my second question is, do you all share these scams with like AARP Fraud Watch so that they can get the word out to their population?
Sure. I mean, we do communicate with the AARP as well, and the Attorney General refers Medicare and healthcare fraud cases to us. The Attorney General is a great go-to as well. They do consumer-related fraud. Like right now, I'm having real trouble with my air conditioner, and I said, look, I'm friends with the Attorney General. You're making me really mad. I've been hot for 6 weeks and my air conditioner doesn't work. So, you know, that's kind of a consumer issue and I'm having real trouble with that. That's what you would call the Attorney General for. You can also call with Medicare fraud, but they refer those cases to us. We do health care, Medicare, Medicaid related fraud and scams.
I have a question.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
sister passed. She had 20 bottles of Tylenol, and she had 10 COVID tested that she used. So, is that pharmaceutical type fraud, and how can you actually not get on that list and we get all this stuff you're not going to use?
Yeah, that's abuse, plain and simple. And we see that a lot in oxygen. Maybe they send all kinds of, I'm sorry, I don't know the terms, those tubes, and just consistently sending products that you don't need and you can't use that many. That's abuse. So yes, that's something you would call for. When you started getting 2 and 3 bottles of Tylenol, yeah, give us a call. Call that company and tell them you don't need that many, you don't want that many, please stop sending them. If they don't do that, you can call us and we will contact them.
At the beginning of the new deal of Medicaid, when there's that open enrollment, it seems like there's a lot of people trying to call Medicare patients and just say, hey, we want to talk to you about this and this and this. Are those frauds too?
Yeah. So I told you that was a whole nother presentation. Yes, that's when you get the phone calls. That's when you get all the mail in the mail. Please, when you get that stuff, read it, see if it's something that interests you. Call someone that is unbiased. There's a SHIP office here, and there's area agencies on aging. I don't know, CareLink may help, but you can call these agencies for help like that. If you see a plan that looks great, sounds too good to be true, I'm going to check this out, you don't want to call the plan necessarily.
This is how I handle it.
You can also call the plan directly and get any question you can think of answered, and then, you know, double check it again.
I answer the phone with Rock PD's and I switch it every other time. Part of the Rock stand with it, 5 more seconds and I'll have your number.
That's perfect. Perfect.
We got a question over here. I know someone who, when they left the orthopedic clinic, a couple hours later, a DME company called and wanted to get their information to send them things, and I happened to be there. And I said, it was just a checkup. Like, how did they know that did someone at the doctor's office sell her information?
Did they reference your doctor's office?
They said the name of the clinic. You know how there may be clinics with 5 or 6 doctors in that group, and they said, we know you just had this visit with Dr. Knager, well, this clinic, and we want to get you set up to get your braces or whatever. And she said that happens every time she goes to the doctor, like later that day or soon after.
Did you talk about braces or anything in the doctor visit?
Nothing. She never.
Wow.
It was just a whole follow from a whole fracture, and I just thought that's too much. That's not a
Yeah, that's curious.
So we have one more, but let me say this. So let me say this about it. She's not there. So if you're ever on the phone and especially like Facebook and plus, so they have this technology now called geofencing. Do anybody know what that is? No. Some of you do. So geofencing is they have the capability to when you go in certain areas, certain buildings, it can be picked up, right? And if you go to their doctor's office, no, they don't know. They know you went to the clinic, but they don't know. So they pay a lot of money to do this stuff. So there are ways that they track us with a technology called geofencing. So if you didn't notice you on Facebook or you get ads, it's like, I just have Target and I'm getting Target ads, right? So that's kind of how it works. So be careful because there is technology that tracks you. And a good reason not to have your location on all the time, but there's also some issues with maybe not having your location on. Make sure you know who you share your location with.
Great advice. Thank you, Carolyn. And you've ever been on a trip, even it's inside of Arkansas, and you get back and the next day you get all kinds of phone calls from that area code. Same kind of thing.
I have a question about something, and I'm curious as to whether or not it's a scam. We perform the wellness visits for my mom in her doctor's office. They also do what they call the mandatory, what they call Medicare reviews, where they go through a series of questions in this additional hour that you have to do all of these things, some of which you feel like you've already given them this information for. Now, you complete that in the office, plus you have a wellness visit. Then, this is where I'm needing to find out how much of this is a scam or if this is indeed. The next thing that happens is then the insurance company, whether it's United Healthcare, Aetna, or Humana, begins calling saying that it's time for your mandatory Medicare health review. And to that, I've responded on more than one occasion. We're not interested. We've already performed that in our doctor's office. Was that information not provided to you? Is that or is that not a scam? And what do we do if it is?
That's like the third issue that I've had on our helpline. It's the third one in the last 2 weeks. So I'm still not familiar with exactly what it is. We have a call into our contact there at the OIG and trying to determine what it is exactly. We're also seeing that they bill for the wellness exam and then they also bill their other, and they're not supposed to. And we know that you can't, if you talk about anything other than your wellness, that's supposed to be a consultation, and that's what's free with no copay and etc. But if you talk about anything else, they can bill for a regular visit. So it's a real touchy thing, and I think that there might be trying to skirt in some type of extra payment somehow. But this is the third one. If you wouldn't mind giving us your information out at the table, and we'll give you a call. Would you do that, please? So we can look into it. Because I haven't heard back yet from our contact, and so it is something worth looking into.
I think we have one more.
Okay. All right.
On that same note, I had this wellness review where it comes in their house and they diagnosed me with peripheral artery disease. And I had to go to a doctor, had to go to a specialist, had to get special tests run, and 4 months down the road they said, no, they told me surgery on my legs to cure it, all this. UFR was telling us. And then the doctor, after all this was over, come out and he said the federal government and Medicare was suing UFR for this misdiagnosis that's going on. Do you know anything about that?
I do not. Wow. I've not heard of that.
Okay, no more questions?
I'm done. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.